receiver. James Cook. And Cook into the secondary. James Cook. He will score. Touchdown, Georgia. Bennett loads, goes that way to the corner. Got it. Touchdown.
Fakes to Roydell Williams, goes to the end zone. Another touchdown for Jamison Williams. Shaken up after that face mask out. There goes Cardwell, straight up the middle, the freshman. Touchdown, Oregon. 43-yard line. Look at Henderson. Travion Henderson. Turning on the Jets and gone. 57-yard touchdown for the sensational freshman.
Welcome to another exciting episode of All Four Downs. The college football playoffs is on the rise. We're already 3 weeks into the rankings, and quite of a debate we had last Tuesday. So if you missed it, you want to check it out on All Four Downs on YouTube, Twitch, or here on your Facebook. So please follow up, subscribe, leave your comments. We're all ears. We'll respond to everything. And I'm with Joe Aguirre and Big Jace. We got a whole bunch of games going on this weekend. A lot of factors into the top 25. Not much of a shakeup this last rankings, but I have a gut feeling that there are going to be major changes this Saturday as we talk about these potential games that have playoff implications. So the Big Ten is on the spot, along with the American League as well. So Joe, out of all the games, the top six, really, I don't like the top seven, but the top six, after this weekend or maybe next, which teams do you feel like that's not going to make it? Let's narrow it down. The top four right now, we got Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Oregon. Out of those four teams, which teams do you believe will not be there for the Final Four?
Of those four teams who won't be there in the finals, it's going to be all of those teams are going to be there.
You believe that every single one of them is going to be there?
Yeah, I do. Oregon's going to win out. I think Ohio State is going to win out. I think Alabama is going to beat Georgia, and they're going to drop Georgia from 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. And, whatevs. That's how it's going to go.
Wow.
I get it.
Wow. I'm not a firm believer, I don't believe you, Joe. I don't believe you.
If that is what happens, it's their best case scenario. First of all, it gets you the four teams in there you probably want in the first place. That's four great historic programs. It represents at least three of your conferences, which that would be nice for once, right? Kind of get a little bit of everybody in there. Right?
Is it really everybody?
Wouldn't kill you. Yeah.
Is it really everybody, though? I mean, you already mentioned two SEC teams in there.
Well, because you can't do three, Ovi. Three's too many. So two's fine.
Fair enough.
And that's it. And that's how it's going to go. Yeah. And look, again, if somehow Michigan beats Ohio State, then you just swap them out. Yeah. You jump right over Cincy, right into Michigan. That's what you do. Right there, and you're done.
For what you're telling me, I feel like last year Texas A&M got stuck at number 5, right?
Yep, and that's Cincy this year.
And this is Cincinnati this year. I still got a
But
feeling.
there was a reason for A&M to sit there last year, was they knew, because, again, you still had the threat of Cincinnati last year. You also had Coastal Carolina sailing up the rankings. You leave A&M right there. You probably won't need them. But if, God forbid, somebody in that top 4 lost, you pop them right in there. Pop them right in there. Who's going to complain? It's A&M.
Same question for Jace. Jace, those 4 teams that I mentioned, will they remain there on the final 4?
All right. I don't think so. I do think the 2 SEC teams win. Even if Georgia beats Bama, I think a 2-loss Bama will get in, but that's a whole different story.
As the 3 or 4 seed?
As you can't make them the 4 seed because you can't redo that matchup again. So
perfect.
They have to be the 3 seed.
Got to be the 3.
They have to be the 3 seed. But I think Oregon, they're not making it. A Pac-12 team is not going to make it into the college football playoff until Utah makes it. That's my bold prediction. And number 2, I mentioned it weeks ago. Michigan State beat Michigan. I think Michigan will beat Ohio State, and they'll punch their ticket in next week.
I'm sorry, man, but the more that I see the replays of these games in the Big Ten, the more I'm convinced that Ohio State is going to win out. And I think they're going to manhandle Michigan State. I think they're going to manhandle Michigan, being at Michigan. And there's nobody in the other division, Wisconsin, Minnesota, or Iowa, whoever decides to finish in first place, got nothing on Ohio State. So my prediction is Georgia and Ohio State will be the 1 and 2. I do believe Alabama will be eliminated in the SEC championship. And that leaves maybe Cincinnati, which I don't have Cincinnati here. I got Notre Dame and whoever's the Big 12 champion.
Yeah. This is stuff.
I would love to see Baylor there, to be honest with you, but someone in the Big 12 will be the 4 team.
You're going to jump Notre Dame over Cincinnati despite them winning in South Bend.
No.
You're literally going to do that. You're going to do that with me sitting here.
I'm not saying that Cincinnati is going to finish undefeated. They're going to lose the conference championship. They're going to lose to Houston. No one's talking about Houston, and Houston's undefeated in the same conference with Cincinnati.
Well, if Gary Barta's right about all this, Houston's garbage, Cincinnati's a little less than garbage, and so they don't matter anyway.
It's a process of elimination.
But when Houston doesn't have a win.
A certain team.
Yeah, but Houston doesn't have a win over anybody in the top 30, do they? Houston didn't beat anybody this year.
They're beating all the teams better than Cincinnati.
You don't have to tell me. Well, I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that. And I mean,
I'm looking at their comparing their schedules right now, and I mean, except for they haven't played anybody that's top 25. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. We got it.
Okay,
but they within the conference, they're both undefeated.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, and then it's like
amazing.
That saying that Joey Galloway has said was he's surprised that now Houston's being ranked. They should have been ranked a couple of weeks ago.
Well, but why weren't they? Let me ask you a question. Why weren't they ranked, but Arkansas and Mississippi State was? Mm-hmm. Who else, Chase? Who else? Auburn? Yeah. Who else?
I'll put it up for you.
Arkansas.
You got Wisconsin, Minnesota, Purdue,
is Wisconsin
Iowa.
Good?
No.
Wisconsin's making a late run, right? They're making a late run within their division, right? That side of the Big Ten.
They haven't had Houston in the top 25 because all that would do would be boost Cincinnati's schedule. And so you don't do that. Again, you'll go out and rank all the 3 and 4 loss SEC teams. Oh, Georgia had such a tough schedule this year. Oh, looked like it, didn't it?
On paper at the preseason it did, but then they also convincingly knocking everybody out of the park. So that is the only team that's doing what they're supposed to do. But everybody else, they got so many flaws. So,
I mean, does Bama really? It's funny. Bama lost one game this year. For the most part, they've handled their business pretty well. And I know offensively and defensively it was a step back, but would you put about a dozen guys into the NFL last year? Excuse us if we need to reload for a minute and you don't know everybody's name yet. You will. Give it time.
Right.
2 years.
Next year.
These guys will all, these guys will all be like the first round of the NFL draft.
And let me add something to that. You got the new offensive coordinator that is starting this year. So
there's a lot going on at Bama. And again, it's funny. Everybody says and insists, when Georgia beats Alabama, 2-loss Bama. Well,
no, I'm not.
Let's not forget that Alabama probably could and will beat Georgia, which is even better for the SEC because you're definitely putting a 1-loss Georgia and 1-loss Alabama in the top 4. That's a no-brainer.
Right. That would make sense, but it's not going to happen.
We'll see. 2-loss Bama's getting in over Cincy.
You're cute.
That Georgia defense is ready for the Alabama offense. They are.
No offense, but that Georgia and look, the SEC is the SEC, but Georgia hasn't seen anything like Alabama this year.
But Alabama has never seen something like Georgia this year. And you talking about Bryce Young.
That's fine. The talent level on Alabama is still off the charts.
Right. I mean,
and
of course, they've been the top recruiting class for the last 5-6 years now.
But here's the big advantage. Where the coach at Georgia, Kirby Smart, kind of an idiot, Nick Saban's on the other side.
Did you hear that halftime speech? I don't think you can call him an idiot. That halftime speech was
He's still an idiot.
No, but Joe, I get what you're saying.
I like a speech. I do. It doesn't necessarily make you smart to make a speech.
I guess
to point out the obvious. You know what I mean? We need to move the football. All right. Yep. That's a good one. Yeah. We need to stop the other team. Oh, this guy's a genius. Where did he think of that? We need turnovers. Wow. I mean, my God, I'm inspired.
But the players responded, though.
Over. Oh, good. Yeah. First down. Got it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
You go from
That's his job. His job is to be an inspiring guy who says inspiring things at the half.
You're down 10-7, and then you come back and give them an ass whooping in the second half. So
can you imagine if I were to say about a coach like, hey, Dan Mullen's nice guy, goes into the locker room, doesn't have much to say. They get in
we
there
don't even want
to
go there.
They get into the half, he just goes sits in the corner.
Before we get to our picks, I have a problem.
What is it?
Florida. How do you give up 50-plus points to a team that no one's ever heard of? A subdivision team like Samford. And then you go out and you celebrate in the locker room like you won the national championship. Can you help me there?
Well,
trash
Samford
program, yeah.
Listen, Samford's had one of the best passing offenses in the FCS past couple years. So
so did UConn.
UConn's. But no, I mean, I will preface with that. So I mean, as far as FCS teams go, as subdivision teams go, they are. I mean, give them a little bit of respect. But yeah, it's despicable. It's disgusting. It's gross. And I mean, Florida. I mean, people like to. Oh, Bama got a win against a ranked Florida. A close win. That was a close win. No, that isn't acceptable. The reason why, to back it up to what we were just talking about, the reason why Georgia, and when Georgia plays Bama, Georgia's going to take that game is because Bama has wavered. You saw that against that Florida team, close game, and you saw that against Texas A&M. Georgia's been smashing people left and right and center, just destroying them. They only waver. Down 7 to a Tennessee team, come back and they scored 41. So, I mean, that's the only time Georgia's back was up against the wall. I mean, that's why I got Bama. not winning against Georgia.
Whoa, how do we get all the way over there? I mean, I'm a
Because
little
Florida
confused
sucks.
now. All right, you still lost me there, but okay.
Florida sucks, and Bama only barely beat Florida.
Okay. Oh, I see your point now.
Yes.
I got it. All right. Too easy. But
UT Martin, you guys know UT Martin? Anybody familiar with that program? UT Martin. How about Western Carolina? No? No? Mercer?
yeah,
You
I've
guys
heard
know
of those
Mercer?
Teams.
You've
Yeah,
heard of
yeah,
Mercer?
I've
Yep.
heard of them.
How about
University of Tennessee
Chattanooga? You guys
Yeah,
know Chattanooga? These are
Oh,
all teams that
Lowa.
lit up Samford, by the way. Samford's 4-6. They're 5th in the Southern Conference. Okay? The most points they had put up in a game this year was 48 against Eastern Tennessee State. They put up 52 on Dan Mullins and company. I've been saying it since we started doing this show that guy's a trash dumpster. He should be working at a sanitation plant handling garbage, because that's what Dan Mullins is. Garbage. I mean,
well, after that performance on Saturday, you're absolutely right.
What do the boosters at Florida need to see to realize that Dan Mullins has poisoned what was a once great college football program? What is it going to take? I know they sort of cleaned house on him. What's next?
Well,
last year he was that close to getting in the college football playoffs, so I don't think you.
LSU had a different answer for him. But hey, real quick before we get to our picks, Senator Arroyo Sanchez, thank you for supporting our show. And the question he has is, can you please, guys, explain how the rankings go, please? What's the criteria based on, and do you guys agree with it? For example, should UTSA deserve to be in the top? You probably would say top 25 because they're undefeated. Holla at me. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, as far as UTSA from San Antonio, they do not deserve to be in the top 4. And yeah, they're undefeated. But look, those are the programs in those conferences that I consider as subdivision, right? They don't play nobody. Their strength of schedule is probably like in the bottom 100s. Okay. But if you're putting that division or that conference in the top 25, then let's start picking out the Sun Belt Conference, because you have teams like Louisiana, Appalachian State that deserve, because they ain't playing high quality football, deserve to be in the top 25, and they're not in. Now, you ask us, do you agree? Well, if you tune into Tuesday's aftermath on the top 25, we all disagree on how the top 25 was formed, right? Because there is no criteria, no matter how you explain it. When you say you look at head to head, but then you have Michigan on top of Michigan State, knowing that Michigan State already had beaten Michigan. And I don't want to fire up Joe, because Joe was fired up Tuesday in the evening. So please, Sander, please don't let him start, please. But there is no criteria.
No,
there is no such thing as strength of schedule, and no one's taking consideration of the teams they beat in the top 25, right? So you do have schools that beat in top 25 teams and not looked at as to become a top 25. And to answer your question, the only thing they got right is having Georgia at number 1. Everybody else, they're not placed correctly.
I just would like to make one more point about Samford. They hadn't beaten an SEC team since 1934. It's one of those stats that you can't unsee. You know what I mean? Like 80 years of SEC dominance. There's Dan Mullen, the trash dumpster he is. The college football power rankings are similar to figure skating in that it's all very interpretive. You know what I mean? I suppose you could say the strength of schedule is like, you check like, oh, triple axle. Boom, did the triple axle. Now what? Now the rest of the program, again, if I'm a Russian judge, you're getting like a 9.6, it's
Absolutely.
that kind of stuff. That's what this comes down to. And again, if there is any criteria to this and you want to talk about strength of schedule, again, Houston has specifically not been ranked in order to make Cincinnati look like a worse program with less quality wins, while everybody in the SEC who's over 500 has had a shot at the top 25 at some point or another, especially if you've got Bama coming up this week. You got Bama coming up this week. Welcome to the top 25. That's kind of how this works. And again, it's meant because here's why, and this is what makes me angry and why I get mad is, again, in theory, Ovi, right? 1 should beat 2, 2 should beat 3, 3 should beat 4. That's the order that you would think that we're ranking them in, right? Which is why you take a team like the University of Texas, San Antonio. Don't even rank them. Let's get serious. No one is ranking them in anything, and that's fine because who have they beaten? Nobody.
They're beating nobody that have quality anything. I mean, I haven't heard some of these schools. So, but listen,
it's a bummer.
No, I brought up this point before. I need to see it. I need to see them play someone in the top 25 to know exactly how they're undefeated. They're taking care of stuff. You want to talk about strength of schedule? The schedule's built 20 years in advance. How are you supposed to know what teams are good here and then? So I don't get it.
You're absolutely
right.
Well,
and again, just the same, Jace, we assume every year that the SEC teams are all really good, and it's never how it works out.
Yeah. It's only news when we all talk about it, and this is news because it brings everyone to talk about the top 25 because we're always going to react, and that's what makes us like to watch college football because I like to watch college football. I like to see that my point is right. I like to know that my bets are on point, even though last week was a bad week for me. But it gets everybody talking, and everybody knows who should be in the rankings. But again, it's just like what Joe said. The more we talk about this, the more I'm convinced that it's fixed. It really is. Because like you said, Joe, we're now playing against Alabama like Arkansas, who should not be in the top 25. Oh, by the way, you're playing Alabama this week. Oh, you're ranked number 24 or 23. I think they're 21 right now or something like that. But they weren't ranked last week, but they're there now. And then you still got Mississippi State at 25, which they lost 4 games. So it is what it is. But hey, let's move on. And again, more reactions on the top 25 coming Tuesday after the announcement. We'll be live with our reaction and compare our top 25, and also visit hhwshow.com with my unofficial rankings. But hey, let's start with our picks. This is all straight up, no spreads, no nothing. I like your point across on this. And we start with our first game, Iowa State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma coming with a loss from Baylor. They're looking to bounce back. They dropped to the mid top 25. I think they're like 13 or 14 or something like that. But hey, who cares? Now they're playing Iowa State. Who you got, Joe?
I'm going to take Iowa State here. I feel like, we didn't think Oklahoma was that great. We were kind of waiting for Oklahoma to lose. And then Oklahoma did what I say they always do. They lost as soon as it mattered.
Yeah.
Okay. This Iowa State team's pretty decent. I mean, they've had a pretty good year all in all, a little inconsistent, but I think Oklahoma probably feels a little disrespected, knowing the country wanted them to lose, getting dropped into the mid-range, and I think I don't think they're ready for Iowa State, and they get slapped around here.
All right.
Iowa State's been dead to me. I've been high on Oklahoma all year. I'm gonna go Oklahoma here, but the real thing I got to give credit to is with the committee is their ranking of Oklahoma. They decided, hey, Oklahoma always gets in and gets their butts handed to them. So, hey, let's not have that happen again. That's why I think they're a lot lower than they are. But I expect Oklahoma to bounce back, get the win at home.
Okay, I agree with you, Jace. I expect that Oklahoma bounce back. I don't see them losing back-to-back games, and Iowa State's pretty much, they all right. I mean, they only score an average of 32 points, but given that Oklahoma, it boils down to who's going to be the quarterback and can they perform? And I think they'll bounce back at home and actually win it. I got the Sooners on this one. Michigan State at Ohio State. Excuse me. Should be the game of the week. Joe, who you got?
Been a great season for Mel Tucker. Came out, said he's sticking around. He's turning this Michigan State program around. He's gonna turn these guys into big time winners. And I hope he does that. He's probably not gonna pull this one off. Not at Ohio State. I don't see that happening. This Ohio State team is really good. I do think they're going to run the table, so that also means a win against Michigan State here.
Okay.
I do think offensive-wise, Michigan State can compete with Ohio State's defense. Kenneth Walker, best running back in the nation. If they can just feed him the ball, have him eat up clock, limit the time that Ohio State's offense is out there, I think they can win this game. But I just don't see Michigan State's defense being able to hang with Ohio State's and offense, and I just think they light them up. Even if they do control the time of possession, I just think Ohio State's offense is just going to eat up that Michigan State defense. I got the Buckeyes getting it done at home.
Yeah, I got Ohio State. They got too much talent, and it's going to take Michigan State a couple of years to reach up to the recruiting to out-recruit Ohio State there. But I got Ohio State on this one. Wake Forest at Clemson.
I don't know if you guys are even aware of this, but DJ Ugalele has 8 touchdown passes and 7 picks on the season. It's been a rough year for Clemson, obviously, going against a pretty decent Wake Forest team. I wonder if Clemson wins, though, and goes 8-3 if they don't put Clemson in at number 7 next week in the rankings.
Not gonna happen.
They're gonna look. They gotta be salivating right now. Clemson, who thought they were gonna get the 8 wins this year? I do think Wake Forest is gonna really put an exclamation point on the tough season that Clemson has had. Clemson just doesn't score any points, and Wake Forest does. And so my fear is that at the end of the day, Clemson will have no answer for Sam Hartman, and since they can't score any points, I don't know how they're going to win a game. I don't know how they've gotten 8 wins, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
That defense. It's that defense, but I do think that defense will slow down Sam Hartman, but I think Sam Hartman's good enough, make some plays, get in the end zone a couple times, and like you said, I love DJ Uiagalelei, but I think he's got that big Neil paycheck on his mind this season because he just hasn't been performing. I just going to go Sam Hartman, better quarterback than DJ this year. So I'm going to go Wake Forest to get it done on the road.
I wouldn't be surprised if Clemson pulls an upset on this one. I think, and especially now that Wake Forest needs this win to go to the ACC championship. They win, they clinch. Now I am going for Wake Forest just because that offense can't score. But you got to give that respect to Clemson's defense. They're only giving up 15 points the whole entire season. That's great for, again, a 7-3 record, right? But I like Hartman, but Bill Smith should be able to continue running the ball, eating out the clock, driving it to him. So by the fourth quarter, you'll see some fatigue for Clemson, and the Demon Deacons, come out victorious on this one. SMU at Cincinnati.
Boy, man, Tanner Mordecai is one of those quarterbacks that gets no kind of love. This guy's got 37 touchdowns. That's second in the nation. He's 7th in overall passing yards. Boy, I will say this. Cincinnati's got its work cut out in this game. But I do think, as they've done all year, I think they answer the bell. And I think they win a super tight game against SMU. And I know it's not going to impress. It's not going to impress the rankers, put it to you like that. But this is going to be a battle. And anybody who doesn't recognize how good SMU is either doesn't care to know or just doesn't know because they don't pay any attention to this conference, and that's a shame.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I mean, SMU, yeah, their offense is great. Tanner Mordecai, beast. But Cincy, while they have, I mean, and I don't want to say struggle, but while they've been bad against the spread the past couple weeks. A lot of people criticizing them. This is a team that plays up in these big games. Look at the Notre Dame game. I think this is a big game here. I think they show up and show out. I think that defense. I do think SMU is going to score a couple touchdowns, but I think that defense makes some key stops, and I think Desmond Ridder and Jerome Ford control the time of possession, control the clock, and get in the end zone a lot more than Tanner Mordecai. So I got Cincy taking it at home. And also Desmond Ridder, undefeated at home as Cincy's QB.
I'm glad you mentioned that because Desmond Ridder is going to suffer his first loss at home to SMU. There's a pattern for Cincinnati.
What is wrong
Every
with
other
you?
week, they don't come to play. Okay? They barely beat Navy. Then 2 weeks later, they barely beat Tulsa. This is 2 weeks later now, and they're going against MSU that averaging 42 points a game.
Bro,
Averaging
the name of the
42
game, the name of the game is if you give up 42, you score 43. Since he does it, they answer the bell every week. I don't know why.
Cincinnati hasn't
why
averaged
you
over
seem-
40. What are you talking about?
I didn't say
Because
they
they-
averaged over 40. I said if they give up 42, they got to score 43. Cincinnati wins football games. That's just what they
They're
do.
not going to do that with SMU.
They are.
Either you shut them down to 0 points, but if you give up over 30 points against SMU, you're going to lose the game. SMU is going to pull that upset.
I don't think
Call
so.
me crazy.
I
They're
am.
not scoring over 30, so
You gonna
No.
call me
Take
crazy?
that.
Yeah.
You take that? Take that.
I think Alabama in the SEC championship game is going to put 50 points up on Georgia's vaunted defense. How does that feel? How does that feel, Ov? Do you like that?
I don't believe you.
Do you
so
like it?
doesn't
Does that
matter.
feel good? Bryce Young's going to go for about 360 and 6 touchdowns.
Bryce Young's going to go see the stretcher, and he's going
Yeah.
to be carried out with a concussion.
Oh, yikes.
So
Terrible thing to say about the
It is.
Heisman Trophy winner. Why would you
let's
go
not
there?
even open the door there. UAB at UTSA.
Oh, jeez.
All right, you know what? Nah, you open the door. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. No, Bryce Young does not deserve to be even considered in a Heisman Trophy. I'm sorry. You can't.
Wait,
You mean to tell me that-
he's going to put up 50 points on Georgia, though. Of course he's going to win it.
Of course not. He will not ever. Stop. Don't ever say that again.
If he puts up 50,
No, stop.
Oh,
I got a new Frank in this show. All right. Hey, let's continue on. Let's continue on here. UAB at UTSA.
UTSA, led by Frank Harris, who I think is a dynamite quarterback, playing his little heart out. 20 touchdowns, only 5 picks on the season. These guys are going to go down there and get it done, and good for them. You know what? Good for the Roadrunners. Again, I don't. Here's what I don't get is like, why the hate? Why the hate for a team like this? Where does this come from, do you think? Is this your SEC elitism?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. But
Look, Go ahead.
I will say that this is going to be a good game. UAB, they lost to Georgia. I mean, they have some good losses, except Rice, right? Rice is a terrible program. I don't understand how they lost that.
Hey, sometimes you hit a speed bump. That was daylight
Sometimes.
savings.
Okay, yeah. But, UTSA, Roadrunners, meet me, keep it going.
38
Undefeated.
points a game they put up.
Yeah, it's impressive. I like it.
They gave up 19 a game. They got a pretty decent defense, too. So,
So y'all going for UTSA. I like it.
yep.
because I'm not. I'm going for UAB.
Yeah.
I got UAB, got the experience, especially late in the game. UAB knows what it
Came
takes.
in real handy against Rice.
And UTSA being ranked, they're not going to handle it. They're not going to handle it. It's going to be
All that
their
experience
egos.
for
Their
UAB
egos.
at home against Rice, and they lost. Yeah. I hope that was one of those good losses, that taught you a lesson about losing at home to a team you should beat. Yeah.
Yeah. UAB all the way, baby. I have no idea who they are, but they're going to win.
All right.
Not in my research. They'll win. But Louisiana at Liberty, this is a better game. A better game. I like this game because both these programs, since the last couple of years, they've been winning. And I like this. And Liberty pulled an upset last year against Coastal Carolina. Now they find themselves against Louisiana. I like this game. Joe, who you got?
Well, I love this game. A 9-1 versus 7-3. If these were SEC teams, they'd be ranked number 2 and number 8.
Here we go again.
Yeah, am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Pick the game, man. Pick the game.
Let me ask you a question. How many people know Louisiana's 9-1? Right?
No one.
Nobody
You're
cares. Nobody cares. Like these aren't. Listen, it's hard to win football games against anybody, any day of the week. These are real football players playing real football games.
Are you serious?
I am.
Oh,
I like what goes on here.
I do.
I
too.
really do.
That's
I
why
like
we have
Malik
this
Willis.
show.
I don't know why Malik Willis doesn't get any kind of respect. Put a little respect on this fella's name. What does this guy got to do for you?
No.
Right.
You know who Levi Lewis is? Do you care who Levi Lewis is?
He's
5'10",
one of the
184 pounds. 5'10", 184. He takes his team to a 9-1 record in his senior year. You don't even know his name. You don't even care. You know the backup quarterback at Georgia, though, don't you?
Well, I'm a Georgia fan. I better know.
How about a little love for number 1 on the scorecard and number 1 in your hearts, Levi Lewis, taking the Ragin' Cajuns to 10-1 with a big win at Liberty.
I love it. I love it, Joe.
Liberty.
I'm with you. I love Louisiana. That run game, I think another eat up time of possession. Keep Malik Willis off the field because he is really, really good. I think they do that. I think Billy Napier just has it all figured out. He's just a better coach than Hugh Freeze. So, yeah, I'm going to go the Ragin' Cajun. And also Liberty lost to UL Monroe. I'm not going to – and Syracuse. Those are 2 terrible losses. So, yeah, Louisiana going to get it done.
I'm glad you mentioned that because, things happen. Yes, they did lose to Louisiana Monroe, but Louisiana Monroe is also a great program. But let's look at that this way.
How dare you?
Liberty.
Hold on. Why would you say they're a great program when you discount
they had
everything?
One win last year. A great program?
Yeah, they're a great program. Outstanding.
Spoken like a true SEC
they're
man.
Real football players.
You only compliment these small programs when it suits your needs.
Listen, I'm going to agree with Hector right here. Thank you, Hector, because I was about to say that. Liberty's 15-game home winning streak is going to continue and is going to turn into 16.
Because Liberty could never, lose a home game.
And they won't because they will beat
15 in a row.
Louisiana.
That's a very long streak. And to be playing a team like the Ragin' Cajuns, I don't know. If I'm Liberty, I'm not feeling too confident that we're getting the Sweet 16.
Also, Louisiana.
I'm confident with Liberty because they prepared themselves from last week's loss.
Yeah, Louisiana lost
at home, and they don't lose back-to-back games.
Texas.
Who?
Big boy school. You ever heard of Texas?
Who?
That's who Louisiana lost to. That's their one loss.
Liberty lost to a team that didn't have a win all last year.
They lost to Mississippi State. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Ole Miss. They lost to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I'm sorry.
UL Monroe, who did not have a win all last year.
Well, let's see what happens this week. And when I win, then I'm going to tell you, I told you so. Right? It's all good. I know you say that. I know. Hell, come on. Let's talk about a real game. Baylor at Kansas State.
I'm so mad at myself. You know, I called that Baylor upset last week, and then I threw my money on the money line on Purdue. I know, so stupid. Yeah, look, this Baylor team, boy, I like them. I like them a lot. Again, it's kind of a team that just sailed under the radar for most of the season, as tends to happen if you're not in the SEC. But yeah, Jerry Bohannon and company head to Kansas State, and they're going to take care of some business.
So you got Baylor.
I got Baylor.
Okay, Jace.
Baylor should win this game. I do see. I mean, if you're a betting person, letdown spot here, maybe against the spread. If we were picking against the spread, I might go Kansas State. Oh, Kansas State's actually favored, so I don't know. Something's up there. Vegas is telling you it's going to be a letdown spot. I'm going to listen to Vegas. Change my mind. Kansas State gets the upset win here.
Man.
Abram Smith going to be running all over Kansas State. Please. Are you guys kidding?
This is
Don't
a
listen
pick'em
to
game.
Vegas.
This
They're
is a
baiting
pick'em
you with
game.
this. Oh, suckers.
Deuce Vaughn is a beast, though, at running back.
Look, Baylor lost to TCU 30-28. It was a great game, but they were on the road, even though it's still in the state of Texas. But they're going to travel to Kansas State. This is a trap game. And with that win against Oklahoma, did it do too much for that team? Are there hangover in that team with that game? I'm picking Kansas State. And Baylor hasn't done well at Kansas State. And the history proves itself. And I'm taking the Wildcats to go out and win. And it's going to be an awesome game to watch. It's going to go down to where I won't be surprised if this game goes to overtime.
Listen, I understand that Baylor hasn't played well at Kansas State because, mostly for the last – when was Baylor good? In like the 50s? 60s?
Baylor's always been good.
No, Baylor hasn't always been good.
They almost
What are you
made the
talking
playoff
about?
a couple years ago. What are you talking about?
They're always good.
With
They've
Matt
just never been
Rule.
recognized.
With
That's why
Matt Rule.
Rule's in
Right.
Carolina right
This
now.
is a recent phenomenon.
Mhm.
I've been alive for longer than you have, like double your age there, buddy. So know your role for a minute and pay attention.
Also, RG3. I don't know why you're talking like it was like.
Well,
like
let
50
you
years
two
ago.
talk it over
Time
there.
ago. It's a long, long time ago. Okay? Baylor. No, I don't even know why I'm even explaining this. You guys don't even deserve to know this.
Who's you guys?
You know what?
You're talking like it's 50 years ago. They had RG3, and then a couple years ago with Matt
I got a
Rule, they
degree in
And
history.
before
What you
Matt
talking
Rule,
about?
before RG3, the last time Baylor was good was in like the 50s.
Okay, but all right, sure.
I'm serious.
I'm serious about this game. Oregon visits Utah. Can't Oregon defeat Utah, Joe?
Well, listen, I'm sure their record in Utah is not great, because winning on the road is hard to do, and most of the time they don't have good teams. When Oregon's good, they can go to Utah and beat Utah. That's what's going to happen this time.
Not so fast there, Joe. Not so fast.
Go ahead,
This
show
Utah
your shirt,
team
man. Show your
has
shirt.
been completely different since Cameron Rising has taken over at QB. You had those two bad losses at the beginning. BYU, San Diego State. Hey, both in the top 25 right now. Just saying that. And then that scumbag, Charlie Brewer from Baylor, said, hey, I'm just going to quit on the team. And then Cameron Rising has taken over, and this team's – they struggled against Oregon State. Okay, so what? They're coming. Rice-Eccles Stadium's going to be popping in Salt Lake, and they are going to shove their foots in those quack holes of Oregon and get them out of the college football playoff. Because, like I said earlier, a Pac-12 team is not going to the college football playoff until Utah gets their turn.
Fair enough. Utah's favored by 3 points in this game. The money line is high for Oregon. They're at a plus 140. So that's an indicator. But I've been saying it for a while now. Utah will beat Oregon And I believe if it's not this game, they're going to lose to Oregon State. We talked about that a couple of years ago. I don't trust Oregon, and this is the game which Oregon's going to fall.
Well,
That's going to open up the door for
Beavers,
Cincinnati. So Utah wins. Or Arizona State at Oregon State.
No, I just said it. I like the Beavers. I didn't even know we were doing this game next.
Oh. No, yeah, Oregon State's been impressive, I guess. But I like Arizona State. That defense is really good. I think they get a Herm and Antonio Pierce get a big win on the road. Give me the Sun Devils.
All right, I got the Sun Devils as well. It's a pick'em game for me. They're not ranked in the top 25, so I'm definitely picking Arizona State.
Just remember this name. Just remember the name Trayvon Bradford, because when this game's over, you guys are going to hate that dude. Trust me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Trayvon Bradford, write it down.
All right.
I'm good.
We'll have a big game against Oregon, but not against Arizona State.
All right, lastly, Arkansas at Alabama, one of the games in which the top 25 decided to put them in the bottom half of the top 25 just because, got to improve that resume with Alabama. I'm not going to waste no time on this one. Alabama wins.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The SEC's not that good. It's Bama.
I will say, if Sam Pittman, if he can get him fired up and he can get him, I think Arkansas can come out and punch Alabama in the face early. But I feel like, but Nick Saban's just too good. They'll adjust. Alabama will get the win here.
That's a unanimous vote. I like this. It's you two versus me on this one. I like it. And again, anything can happen at any given week. But this season alone, this season, approximately at least now, the ratio went up. At least 6 to 7 teams in the top 25 lose each week.
Yeah, well, when you're putting bad teams in the top 25, they're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And I couldn't agree with you more, man. I couldn't agree. But there's only one solid team in 2021.
Cincinnati.
Let's go Bulldogs. That's all I'm going to say. But, hey, that wraps up our show. All 4 downs. Those are our picks.
Why we're not going to talk about the Georgia game? Because I want to talk about how much I like Charleston Southern. Let me tell you a little bit about the Buccaneers.
Yep, we're going to definitely talk about them. And again, this concludes our show, but we do have a final whistle, and we can't leave the show without that final whistle. So, Joe, if you could please come back and let us know how you really feel.
Well, I appreciate that. And by the way, if I could just point out, Charleston Southern coming off a pretty big win over Gardner Webb, which is another very fine program. Look, it has been
Who
a crazy.
Is that?
Gardner Webb. Put some respect on their name. That's the team they just tooled up on before their big matchup with Georgia. All right, look, been a crazy year. You know all about the upsets. We've seen a ton of them. Ovi was just talking about it. I bet you will see another one this weekend. Alabama lost the game. That's what a nutty season this has been. But we're very thankful. We're thankful for our college football, unless you're not in a Power 5 conference. So, but here's some things that you can be thankful for this Thanksgiving Day as you're sitting around the table. Personally, I'm thankful that Stetson Bennett wasn't the problem last season after all. Apparently the Bulldog fans are full of, bull. I'm also thankful that defense is for real. It's going to be a real problem if and when they do meet Alabama. So let's see how that turns out. I'm thankful that Michigan and Oklahoma always find a way to lose a big game. I'm thankful Cincinnati's undefeated, and they're going to finish their season that way. And I'm very thankful that Notre Dame's final 2 opponents are both 3-7, because if they don't blow the doors off of Georgia Tech and Stanford, they're going to have a really hard time putting those Irish in front of the Bearcats. I'm thankful Coastal Carolina lost and dropped out of the top 25. I really am. Reason being, I'm glad we could just focus on that one mid-major that might actually be able to win a playoff game. I'm thankful for Purdue. I'm thankful for the fact Dan Mullen probably has one more season at Florida. And I'm thankful that Mac Jones is finally being recognized as the great quarterback that he is. And we're thankful for you, for your support. We wish you and your family a very happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the food, enjoy the football. We'll catch you back here next week to break it all down. We're proud to be part of the CMG Sports Podcast Network. Visit clovercrestmedia.com for more great sports podcasts. For Obi Muniz and Jace Garcia, I'm Joe McGuire. We'll catch you next Thursday night at 8 o'clock for All Four Downs.